data types that we are having, which are complex. So today we will see the array type and some important points we need to notice about array type. What those are, we will learn. As I already explained yesterday, array configuration is same as in JavaScript. That means how you configure array is same in JavaScript. How you do in JavaScript here also same. Generally, how you configure array? Array can be configured by using a meta character. We can use the meta character for array. Another one is we can configure array by using array constructor. Array constructor we can use. Configuring array is same. How you configure in your JavaScript here also same. And you already know the difference between two. Array constructor will allocate a dynamic memory. Array meta character will allocate a static memory. That is the basic difference between those two. Next important is are same. There is no change as in JavaScript. Array methods are same as in JavaScript. That means reading elements, adding elements, removing elements, all array methods are same. What array methods you learned about adding elements? You have like push, unshift, and splice like methods. Removing elements, you have like pop and shift and splice like methods. Sort, reverse, index of, last index of, all array methods are same. There is no change in that. So array methods are similar to use. So presenting array, we will see that. So array is presented using iterators. Is presented using iterators. And one of the popular iterator we use is map. We use for each. Map and for each are used to read all elements from the array. All the elements from the array. I am not teaching any JavaScript and I will not touch any JavaScript. That's your problem. Because I already told you any JavaScript topics I will not explain here. This is React. I'm just giving overview, right? Some people come up with like, I don't know this topic, that topic. That's your problem. You have to learn perfect JavaScript and come here for React. This is not JavaScript class. And these are not React concept. These are JavaScript concept. How to use in React, I'm explaining. So what is array, how it works, what is memory, all this, that is not here. So without knowing that, don't come to these batches, right? So because you need to be perfect in JavaScript, then you can attend this React. Because I'm not explaining you about array here. I'm just showing you that in React, how to deal with array. And all your JavaScript concept, that is not my job here, right? So you learn JavaScript perfectly and you have to attend this. And every concept of JavaScript, I am not going to touch here, right? We are just going to see the difference. What is the difference? So you already learned about map for each and all these options. How you present them, we will see. Remember, to present array in general JavaScript, what you do, you can also use for in, for off, or for while loops. But that is not possible in terms of React. In React, already I told you in JSX, we cannot write any statements. So all we have to depend on functions. We need to depend on functions. So let's see one example. So what is the example and how we can present? One simple example we will see here. First, we are having an array and we allocated memory categories, and the categories is an array. We initialized some values into it and we need to read them and present them. Generally, I already showed you in JavaScript, it is lengthy process. But here, what we do is, for example, in an ordered list, we want to display all these elements as list items. So in the ordered list, you put a binding expression. And here we cannot use any for loops or anything. There is no chance of statements. Then what you have to do? Array is categories. Array have iteration methods. So the best and fastest way of reading elements from array is map. So map allows you to read, and map uses a callback function. That callback function will read every value from the array. So we will collect every value and store in a reference called category. And actually, you know that function you have to write like this. But here we recommend all shorthand technique. There is no function words used here. Shorthand techniques means you learn JavaScript arrow functions. So what is the parameter? Category. And what does this implies means? What does that implies means? It is a function written. Generally in JavaScript, functions are written in a shortcut way. For example, in JavaScript, generally what you do? In JavaScript, when you write a function, some add. So this add function A, B, and it should return A plus B. How you write in a shorthand way? In a shorthand way, generally how you write, suppose constant add is equal to, it is a function A comma B, two parameters, and return what? A plus B. That is the shorthand way. You learnt about arrow techniques, how to write them. So this indicates what to return. So the return, if multiple statements are there, then you enclose in a curly brace. But here, this must be returning some value. The same thing we have to follow. Return, you should not use a curly brace. If you use a curly brace, that means it is representing multiple blocks of statement. According to JSX, it should return only one container, not multiple blocks. JSX should return only one fragment. Am I right? Then what you should do is you have to just tell what to return. One fragment. One fragment means what? We will design a list item. And because in ordered list, for every category, it should create a list item and add that list item into this location. And in that list item, what is the text? Currently, this list item will repeat. How many times it will repeat? How many elements are there in this array? Those number of times it will repeat. You can see that it is going to repeat that empty. That list item will repeat. And when list item is repeating, so in that repeating item, what you want to show? So here I want to display again a binding expression. I want to display the category. We need to display the category. And the category is nothing but the value of this array. It is going to read and it is displaying. That is how we read elements from array and use it. But here one problem is there. That means syntactically how you do that. Constant some categories is a use state and we have an array. Some all, some electronics like that. So all, some electronics, something we are having. Now, how do we present them? So we use categories dot map. Read every category and return a markup. That means here you need to define a container. Any container you can use, and make sure that in that container you are displaying. So that is how we do. Yeah. So here, what happens to this container? The container will repeat. How many times? It will repeat for every element inside the collection. Inside the collection, it will repeat. That means a duplicate is created for that container. Now we have problem. If duplicates are created, then React shows an error. React says that same element, several copies are created. How do I know the reference of every element? That means React says that same element you are duplicating, then all elements will have same reference. Then how to identify which one is first, which one is second, which one is third? So this is the problem with React. So what you have to do is, here first I will give a point. Container you defined in iteration will repeat for every element. Will repeat for every element in array. The container is going to repeat. Will repeat for every element in array. It is going to repeat for every element in array. So the container you defined in iteration will repeat for every element. So every repeating element in React must have a unique key. Every repeating element in React must have a unique key. Every repeating element must have a unique key. It is mandatory. It is mandatory that the element that you are repeating, it should have a unique reference key. So unique reference key, which you can define by using key property, which you can define by using the key property, which you can define by using key property. So every repeating element must have a key. That means what you have to do is, the element that you are repeating. So categories dot what map, you read every category and you are suppose generating a list item. This list item should have a key, and this key must have a unique reference. you can temporarily use the same category as key, and its value also displayed here. So why I am writing two? One is to present the value, another one to use the value as a key. Every repeating element must have a key. And if there is no key, you will have an issue with the iteration. You can see that here. Generally, here, what is the point is, let's see. You can see that I am repeating that element and displaying here list item. Yeah. You can see I am repeating a list item here. So a list item is repeating and we are not giving a key. Then what happens is output is coming fine. And when I go to inspect, in the inspect, you can go to the console. In the console, you see there is an error. And error is just now what I explained. Each child in a list should have a unique key, which is missing. That is mandatory. Temporarily in design, for developers in design mode, it will run the output even it is having some errors. But in production, it will fail. It will not run at all. That's the reason these you cannot ignore. There is no chance. Currently, you can ignore because you are currently in development mode. Project will be in two modes, development mode and production. One quality mode for testing. Three modes will be there. And projects we design in development mode where even there are some warnings and issues, it will show output. And it will warn the developer that you are missing this, try, use this. But in production mode, when you are making it live, if any warnings, errors are there, it will not build the solution. That means it will not build the project. So it is not ready. So temporarily you can ignore this, but in reality you have to address this. It is mandatory. So that means how to solve this problem? Make sure that it have a unique key. And key, you can use the same, or actually this map have two parameters. One parameter is the value, another is its index number. In JavaScript, map method, for each methods have two parameters. One parameter will read the value, another parameter will get its index number. You can use this index number as a key. That means what you can do, you can put the key. Key is what? Index. So unique identification will be there. So unique identification, now you can see that when I refresh here, now there is no issue in this. And you go to the elements. In the elements, you can expand and you can see that the ordered list item, every list item is just presented. But actually every list item is having a unique key. And that unique key is mandatory to mention, otherwise you will have issues. The unique key can be the index number, or you can give directly the value, which one you want to refer. What is the advantage of this key? You can identify at which place which element is present, so that it will be helpful later for editing, deleting and all. So whenever any item is repeating, so every repeating element in React must have a unique. That is mandatory. You have to mention that. So let's do another one. Suppose I want to display in a drop down. If I want to display in a drop down, then what we have to do? We need to use a binding expression. In a drop down, what you are expecting? Option. So what is the collection? Categories. Categories dot map. So read two parameters. One is category. Another one is index. And we will return what we will return? Option. And option can have a key. Must have a key. And the key is what? Index. And what is the value? Value is what? Category. That means it is going to display all that in a drop down list here. If key is missing, you are not mentioning the key, then you have a problem. It will show a warning. Output will come, but it will show this warning. So it is mandatory that you maintain a key for every repeating element it will display. You can generate anything. That means you can generate a table row, you can generate a ordered list, you can generate a paragraph, heading, anything. For example, I want a heading for every element. So what you do? If you want a heading for every element, put a binding expression. What is it? Categories dot map. So read every category and read its index. And for every element, create a heading. And heading here, I can give expression. What is it? It will have a category. And you can see that it is going to generate headings. And the heading is ready now. And anything key is missing? Yeah, we have a key, and key is what? Index. And the heading element is having a key. Now there is no problem. You can repeat every element. So arrays are presented by using this simple technique. Later we will see complex arrays. Currently we are watching a ordinary array, because you know complex array means array of objects, JSON, so many will be there. We will see all of them, how to deal. But first, you should know that array related manipulations and array related configuration, there is a small change in only presentation. Declaring array, storing values in array, reading values from array, everything same. Only presenting array is different. In a JavaScript, how you present array, lengthy process. You have to create element, you have to append. Yesterday I showed you. It's a very big process. But now it is simple, easy. We can use simple iterations in the UI and we can do that. That is array. I will give an example for this. Let me copy this example. And this is the example. Okay, this is the example of data binding dot. This is a data binding dot what? JSX. Okay. Now this is the concept of array. How you deal with the arrays in React. Next important, in the data type, we have an object type. Object type. And object type, actually the concept of object is same. Already you learned in JavaScript. So JavaScript object and its manipulations are same in React. JavaScript object and its manipulations are same in React. So how you configure the object? You know what is an object in JavaScript? Huh? Object type. So what is the purpose of object type? Object keeps all related data and logic together. That is the concept of an object. Object declaration, object manipulations, everything same. Generally, how you declare an object, you know that object is a key value collection. It is a key value collection. Object is a key and value collection. You know already objects have a key value collection. And what is the type? Key is string type. And the value can be any type. You know this, huh? How you write an object in JavaScript? A block, in that you will have a key and you have a value. So it is a collection of multiple keys and values which are separated by using a comma. You know this is a JavaScript object, na? JSON. So you can store an object and you can access an object. How you access object? How you access the object? With reference of object name and key, right? Object name and its key. So usually how you define this is, let's go into the object here. Suppose I am declaring, say, a constant product. Product is an use state. Product is an object. Object means you have to enclose in a block, curly brace. It will have a key and value collection. By default, keys are what type? String. So I will give name and colon its value. Value can be anything. It can be a string, boolean, number, anything. Suppose name is some name. After that, we have price. The price is some price. After that, we have some cities. Cities is again array. That means in an object, we have some string, number, and again array. And this array have some Delhi, some Hyderabad, like this. And another, we have rating. Rating is again object, which have rate as 4.3 and count as some 200, like this. This is the data. You know that object data is maintained like this. Now, how to access that and use it? You know how to present the object here. So I'm using product details. And here I'm creating a data list. And in that data term, here I want the product name to display in definition. How to access? Binding expression. How objects are accessed? With reference of object name and key. Object name is what? Product. And dot is what? Dot is an member invoking operator. It invokes the members. Any class related members, object related members, we can invoke by using dot. Dot is a member invoking operator. You invoke the members and you can access the member. What is the member? Name. Another data term is price. How you access product? Product dot what? Price. Another data term is what? Cities. Cities is an array. Then in the data definition, I want to display an ordered list. In the ordered list, I want to display the cities as list items. Then what you have to do? We have to use object is product. Product have a collection called cities, and cities we have to use map and read every city, and for every city create a list item. In the key also put a city and the value also put a city. Okay, that is the data. You can see this is the object data it is displaying. The name, the price. If I want the price to display in a number style, means in a string, to local string. To local string English India and style as what? Currency. And here currency is what? Currency INR. So it is going to display. How to display numbers I showed you. And we want to display one more data term is rating. We want to display rating. So how to display rating? We have to use product dot rating. Rating is an object. In that object again we have a rate. I will put a span here. And class bi star fill and text success. That means you see some rating will be there. And beside it, I will put product dot rating dot count. And it is going to display the values like this. This is accessing data from an object and presenting that. So dealing with an object is very simple. How you deal with the object in the same way, how you do in your JavaScript. So syntactically, a constant obj is equal to use state and here key and value. Just rough syntax I'm giving first. How to present it obj dot key. That's how we present. And under the reference of the key, you can have any kind of value. It can be number, string, boolean, anything. Right. So here I will give one example. So I will copy an example and this is an example. That's an example. This is an example of configuring an object and reading the data from the object and presenting it, right? So this is object. Now, object manipulations are same. In JavaScript, how you learned manipulating an object, the same concepts here also. That means object manipulation techniques are same as in JavaScript. Object manipulation techniques are same as in JavaScript. For example, what is the points here? Object manipulation technique means, so the first question here is how to delete any key from object. How to remove any key from an object. How do you remove any key from an object? From an object, how to remove a key dynamically? Generally, how do you do that? So the answer for this is what? I'll just give a point here. First one. How to delete a key from that object? To delete a key from object, what is it? By using JavaScript delete operator. You have to use a JavaScript delete operator. You learn deleting keys from an object. How you delete key from an object? By using JavaScript delete operator. Now, how to read all keys from object? How to read all the keys from object? I want to read all the keys, what keys it is having. So by using JavaScript object.keys method. Object.keys method is a iterator which will read all the keys from an object. We can read all the keys from an object by using object.keys method. So these are all JavaScript methods. How to verify the existence of a key in object. How to verify the existence of a key in object, whether that key available or not in the object, how do you check? By using JavaScript in operator. In operator, you know, it returns true or false, whether the key is available or not. You want to verify whether a particular key is there in that object or not. For that, we have to use what? In. JavaScript in operator is used for that. So object manipulations are these: deleting the keys and reading all the keys, and verifying whether a specific key available or not. These are object related manipulation. So generally we do these manipulations. Now object related, what is it? Suppose I'm showing here, let's say product is an object and I want to read all the keys in that product. Then dynamically what we do is product dot not product, we have to use object dot what keys. Which object related keys you want to read? Product. It is going to return a array of all the keys. How many keys it is having? Then on an array you can use a map. You can read every key, and for every key we can present some paragraph. In that we want to print the key. And paragraph will have a key reference and it will be the key. That means it is going to read all the keys and display the keys. Object related keys you can access by using the method object.keys. That's a JavaScript method to read all the keys. Right? So to find all the keys, to verify the keys, to delete any key, these are all JavaScript special operators generally we have to use. So how do we know the data type? How to know the data type of value in key? How to know the data type of value in key? In key, which type of data is present? How to know? By using JavaScript type operator, type of operator. We have a type of operator in JavaScript. JavaScript have special operators like delete, like in, like type of. These are all special operators. By using type of operator, we can verify what type of data is present inside a key. Is it a number or a string or a boolean, like that? These are all JavaScript object manipulations you must know in JavaScript in order to deal with objects, right? These are all JavaScript techniques. So here what is new? Nothing new. Only one point is we directly access the object and we use that object related reference with the key, right? So dealing with arrays and dealing with objects, how you deal with array and objects. So in React interviews, we have seen in React interviews for even experienced people, the question asked is, what are the issues with object? What are the issues with object? So object type, that is the object type. What are the issues with object type? The issues with object type, actually, first point is keys are string type. Keys are string type. So you cannot have number or boolean keys, boolean type keys. Generally, in some situations, we want the key as a number 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not possible in object. In object, key must be what? Key must be a string type. Right? Another point is it requires lot of explicit explicit operators and methods for manipulation. So it is slow in interactions. It is slow in interactions. However, it is structured data. It is structured data. That means schema based. It is structured data, schema based. It is structured, schema based. So keys must be string type. You cannot have any other type of keys. And it requires lot of explicit operators. Just now I showed you. To delete a key, you need a delete operator. Delete operator is not a member of object. It is a separate operator you have to use with object. Similarly, in operator, it is a separate operator you have to use with object. Type of is a separate operator you have to use. Using external operators always will be slow. That is the reason objects are slow in access. So what is the solution is, so what is alternative for object type? The alternative for object type is map. Map is alternative. Map is alternative. Why it is alternative? Because key can be any type in map. Another important is, so map provides implicit methods for manipulation. It provides implicit methods for manipulation. So map is faster than object. Map is faster than object. It is faster than object. It is faster than object. But one problem is it is schemaless. It is schemaless. That means what? Structureless. If you are looking for a structured data, then map is not good. If you are dealing with any structureless data means what? One row contains 3 fields, another row contains 4 fields, another row contains 1 field, different data. That's okay. Then you can deal with map. But all rows must have same fields, same type of data. Then better you go with what? Objects. So in JavaScript, so we have a data, and whatever data we have in JavaScript, we can maintain in an object form or you can maintain in a map. So if you are dealing with structureless data, then you can go with map. Map advantage is it have implicit methods. In JavaScript, you learned about map. So what is the advantage of map in JavaScript is usually you can create a data is equal to map. When you allocate memory for map into the data, you can set a key. Key can be number and value can be some string. In another, you can have a key string type and value can be any type. You can have any type. Another, we have set key can be boolean true or false, and the value can be available stock, so true or false, like this. You can have any kind of data. A structureless data you can manage. So that means data dot set. We have like cities is a string key and it can have an array. That means value can be what type? Array. You can have any type. So, but it is structureless. And what is the speciality of map is you can easily manipulate faster. Why it is faster? Because data dot delete, it will remove. So we have data dot clear, it will remove all. Data dot keys, it will read all the keys. Data dot has, it will verify whether key is present or not. You don't need explicit operators, all implicit methods. In object, what we have to do? To delete, we need an explicit operator called delete. And to verify whether key present or not, we need an explicit operator called in. But here everything is inbuilt method, so it is more faster when compared to object. In lot of React interviews, we have seen this question, which is not a React question, but it is a JavaScript question. But many people are not aware of this. That is the reason almost 90% of your React interviews will be JavaScript questions. As a React developer, when you are attending interviews, 90-80% questions, all JavaScript. Because React is very simple to handle in interview. In React, if they ask questions, you can 100% crack it. That's the reason they don't concentrate much questions on React. Even when you attend React interview, they first concentrate on JavaScript. Because React topics are means freezed. That means you know this question they will ask and you know the answer. There is nothing additionally they can ask. That means we have a fixed question bank for React until or unless you show experience. If you show experience, work-based questions they will ask. But for freshers, we have a fixed set that these questions they will ask. So, and they will not ask that. Why? Because everybody knows that you will prepare with them and come. They will ask all language related questions because language is one concept which you cannot be perfect even you learn perfectly. That means even you learn perfectly, you cannot be perfect in every topic. Some topics may be missing. You don't know. That's what they ask in interviews. So that is the reason in many experience related React interviews, it's a very popular question. What is difference between an object and a map, right? I hope you have that idea now, right? But I'm not explaining you map data here. Later we will use it. How to configure the map data syntactically, I will give here. Syntactically, how do you configure the map? That means you need to allocate memory for map. Generally, what happens, you won't allocate memory for the map. Suppose, let's say, this is data. Constant data is a reference is equal to use state. And in this, we are allocating a new map memory. We are allocating a new map memory. Actually, this map is configured. So that means allocating the map data is what type? Data is a map type. And in this map, you can have a key and value collection. That means key any type, value can be any type. Suppose one, and I am giving a simple option like TV. Like this, I am defined. Then how do you read the data from this? Generally, how we read the data from this? So data have a get. Get, what is the key? Key is one. That's how we can access. Get, set, ready-made functions will be there. By using that, you can access. But later I will show you complex data, how to deal with that. So syntactically, just one point I will show here. So we have a constant. So what is it? Data is equal to use state. And you have a new map and initialize the key and the value. Now, how to deal with the data? Data dot get, data dot set, data dot delete, data dot size, data dot keys, data dot values, data dot entries, data dot hash. All these are the methods. Data dot clear. These are all the manipulation related methods. So that is an object. Now we will see how we can deal with an object in a real environment. Right? One example we will see here. So it is a JSON object and map. So what we will do is, let's go And here I will clean up this empty. Okay. First, what we are doing is we will take a real time example. Like suppose we have Flipkart. So in this Flipkart, some mobiles. And in the Flipkart mobiles, we have some iPhone. And this is some data. This is some data. Actually, whatever data that you are currently watching here, this data is not the data that they designed directly in the page. So this data is kept in a database. From the database, they pull the data by using API. By using APIs, we pull the data. And client side, we use AJAX methods. By using AJAX methods, we fetch the data from API and present the data. And whenever they make changes in database, it will reflect here. That means this is not a fixed price. This will be changing. So this is not a fixed rating. That is will be changing. Reviews and ratings are not standard. They will be changing. So we don't directly design. This is coming from a data. Offers will be changing. So let's see how to maintain this data. How to maintain this data. So what I will do is by using a sniping tool, I will snipe this photo because these people directly don't give permission to save the photos. Okay, so what we will do is here, I will copy this photo. Fine. And let's save this in our project. I will save this in our project. Our project is kept in React D driver, F drive. So it is React project. In that, where to keep all the static resources? Public folder. In public folder, we will save this. This is iPhone black. It's a JPG file. I'm saving that photo there. Okay, now how you will maintain this data? We need to maintain this data. Okay, let's go to the project. In the project, we will go to public. In the public, we will maintain a new file by name product.json. You know, in JavaScript, JSON files are saved with extension .json, and they have JSON is JavaScript object notation. And product.json is a file. Okay. In this product.json, how to create a JSON data, you know, object. In that object, we have a key. Keys always must be string. You learned how to deal with JSON data in JavaScript. So what is the first key? Title. And the colon, what is the value? Value is a string. Okay, that is the title. Second, it is having product is having price. Okay, so some 6999 is the price. Okay, next it is having ratings, right? It is having ratings. A rating. In rating, it is an object. In rating, we have a key called rate. It is some 4.6, comma, it has ratings. Rating has ratings and some 43,000 ratings. And it have reviews. So it is having some reviews like 12,000 reviews. Like this we are having. Next, another data. Another data is what? Another data is offers. It is having offers. Offers is a collection of several offers. Then it is an array. That means it is an array. Array of offers. Every offer is a string. Huh? So I will copy the first offer. And that is the string. Okay, comma, second offer. So this is a string. Okay, and comma, third offer. Now we need to keep that here. Okay. Next, fourth offer. Okay. Now we have these offers. Okay. These offers are ready. Now your data is ready. One more is required. In that we need an image. Image is iPhone black dot jpg. That is the image we are having. You don't need to mention any path because, and remember, make sure that the JSON is present in public folder only. Anywhere outside you keep, it will not be accessible. It will not be accessible because the React project is designed and configured in such a way that it can access the resources statically from only public folder. So JSON files are not dynamic, they are static. And JSON file and HTML, JavaScript, PNG, JPG, all these you have to keep in which folder? Public. Make sure that you keep in the public folder. Okay. Now the JSON file is ready. It is having the data. Now in this component, we have to access the data and use it. That means we need to fetch the data and use it here. So that means what I will do is I will create a constant. What is the constant product and use state? What you are expecting, what data you are expecting, you need to configure that. What data I'm expecting? I'm expecting an object. In that object, what is the key you are expecting? I'm expecting a title. What is its type? String. Okay, next, what you are expecting? Price. Price is what type? Number. Next, what? Ratings. Rating is object. It have rate. Rate is a number. And ratings is also number. And reviews is also a number. And we are expecting offers. Offers is an array. And we are expecting one more. What is it? So image is a string. This is the data we are expecting. But this data is not here. It is coming from another JSON file. So how you access data from a JSON file? In JavaScript, what you learned? If data is present in a JSON file, how you access the data from a JSON file? Obviously, in JavaScript, you might have learned AJAX methods, right? By using JavaScript AJAX methods, you can access the data from any file and you can use the data. So what we will do here is, so we will use here, we will learn JavaScript AJAX methods to access data. JavaScript AJAX methods to access data. What are the JavaScript AJAX methods we have in JavaScript to access data? You know, in JavaScript already you learned. So JavaScript provides two techniques for AJAX request. What are the two techniques? So one is XML HTTP request. Another one is fetch. These are the two techniques. In JavaScript, we create AJAX requests and we design AJAX calls by using XML HTTP request. Another one is fetch. By using XML HTTP request and by using fetch, you can make a AJAX call in JavaScript. You can access the data and you can use the data. Currently, we are keeping the data in a JSON file. Later, we will learn how to bring it from a live API. We will see how to access from live APIs. So initially, we can use both of them, and you know the differences already. In JavaScript, what is difference between XML HTTP request and fetch? XML HTTP request is a synchronous technique. Explicitly, we have to make it asynchronous. It is poor in error handling, but it is native method. Browser can understand this easily. Fetch is a promise. Promise is by default asynchronous. So advantage is it is faster in fetching the data from any API. So majority you can use both depending on requirement, but fetch is best when compared to XML. But remember, browser can understand only one. What is it? XML HTTP. All other techniques finally have to use XML HTTP. I will show you two methods. How do we do that? First, generally, now what we need to do is bring the data and load that data into this product. That means we need a setter also now. One is getter, another one is setter. What is it? Set product. So what I will do is at the time of mounting, means at the time of loading, we need to create a AJAX call. We can directly write here, or better we will write a function first. And function name I will give as load data. Okay, this function I can call here load data. That means at the time of mounting, it will call the function called load data. And what load data have to do is it have to make a AJAX call. In JavaScript, how to create an AJAX request? Where we will use an HTTP. It is a just object is equal to new XML HTTP request. XML HTTP request object. We need to create a XML HTTP request object. So in JavaScript, AJAX calls are created by using XML HTTP request object. Okay. Now through HTTP, you have to open. Open method indicates what is the request you are looking for. You are fetching. Fetching means the request method must be get. You are submitting, then the request method must be post. We are fetching, then the request method is get. Okay, from where you want to fetch the URL. URL is product.what.json. From this file, we need to fetch. And by default, when it is fetching, it will block all other actions in the background. We don't want it to block. We want this to execute along with other actions. Then we have to make asynchronous as true. True indicates that the AJAX must be asynchronous. Otherwise, AJAX will be synchronous. Synchronous means what? When it is fetching, it will block all other activities in the page. It should not block all other activities. It should execute along with others. Then asynchronous is true. So in JavaScript, an AJAX request can open with request method. And what is the location from where data is coming? And is it asynchronous or not? After that, we have to use http.what_send. That means this is going to send the request to the browser. Actually, XML HTTP request is managed by browser window object. It is a member of browser window. Browser window will send the request. It will communicate with this file. And after communicating, it will get a response from the file. That means we need to write a function http.onReadyStateChange is a function. Ready state change indicates that the request you sent is successfully executed. If the request is successfully executed, then it will return a status code called 4. Actually, in JavaScript, XML HTTP request, AJAX request have 4 codes. Number 1, initial. Number 2, success. Number 3, complete. Number 4, ready. That means the status of AJAX request will be 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 indicates it is initial, it is not yet started. 2 indicates it is successfully executed. 3 indicates request is completed. 4 indicates response is ready. On response ready, we have to bring the data. So we have to write a condition. We have to check is which state it is. If http dot ready state is equal to 4, that means it is ready. Data is ready. When data is ready, now bring the data and use it. Where to store the data? We need to store the data in this product. We need to store the data in the product. But remember how the data will come. Actually, data will come in the format of, so HTTP response text. What this HTTP response text will do is, it will get the data coming from this file. That means whatever data is coming from the file, response text will bring the data. It will bring the data. But it is in which format? Text format, string format, which you have to convert into which format? JSON format, because our data is in JSON. So we have to use a method JSON.parse. It is a JavaScript method to convert the data into JSON. We have to collect the data in a text form and convert into JSON. After converting into JSON, where to store this? It should be stored in product object. So we have a setter. What is it? Set product. Into the set product, we are storing this data. Into set product, we are storing the data. That means whatever data is coming, it is now finally stored in this location. Now data is present in which object? Product. This data we need to display below. This we return in which function? Load data function. And this data we need to display here. Right? So how to display the data here? I will create a div. Okay, I will create a class row. And let's keep a margin top as 4. Yeah. And I will create a div. The class as call 3 I will give. And we have another div. This have a class name. And this is what? Call some 9. And the left side we want an image. Left side we want an image. Now how do we set image? Make sure that every element is ending, right? So image have src. Src is coming from where? It is coming from product. Product have a property called image. And this image have to get the image and display the image. It's working fine. Now that we are making an AJAX call, fetching the data from a JSON file, and we are using the data here. And for this, what I will do is, so width I will give as 100%. So it is 100%. So that will fit like this. That is the image we are having. Now beside that, in the right side column, we will create a div. Here we want to display the product dot title. That means the product title will be displayed there. And the font size for this, I will put a class name as font size as 2 or 3, then it will be large. So 4 looks okay, then it will be fine. Font weight as bold, then we are displaying as bold. It will be like this. Now below this, we want to display another div. And below this, we want to display a span. So in that span, we will have a BG success and rounded. Okay. And in this, what we will do is, so we will put another span, and here we will put product dot rating dot rate. That means it is going to put the rating here. And we will give as what? Text white. So it will give text white and we will give padding 2. Some padding will be there, 1. That looks fine. And we will have another span. What is it? Class BI star fill. And it is going to display a star here. And this div is going to have class as margin top 2 and it will have down. That is the rating. And beside the rating, I will keep another span. In this span, we are having so product dot rating dot ratings, and the word is ratings. And we have product dot rating dot what reviews, and the word is reviews. We will put this as a class as margin S3. Start 3 means left side, font weight as bold, and text as secondary. Then it will display the reviews like this. The rating and reviews that we have there. Now below this div, we need another div. So we need another div, and this div will have a class as margin top some 3. Here we will put a span. In that we will have class font weight bold and font size as 3. And here we will display product dot price and 2 local string, and we will put as en hyphen in, and we will put the style as currency and the currency as INR, and this is the price we are having. And actually that is just the basic price we are displaying like that, right? Now next what? So we need one more div. Here we need to show the available offers. So here we'll put a class margin top as 3. Okay. Here we keep a simple heading as available offers. Okay. Available offers is here. So I think this is 5. So available offers, we need to show the list of offers below. And where the offers are present, we need an unordered list. Unordered list will have a class list style, list unstyled. Unstyled means it will not have any number, right? It will not have any symbol. In this, we need to generate a list item for every offer that we have. In the data, where is our data? In public, this is our data. In data, offers is an arena. We have to read that. So what we have to do now? So we have product dot what? Offers. We have to map. We have to read every offer, and for every offer we need to create a list item. In the list item, print that offer. Better I will keep this in a span. Okay. And this should have a key. Key will give the same offer, right? And after that, you can see this list item will have a class name BI tag fill and margin Y as 2. That means you can see it is going to display like this. These are all the available offers that is present in the data. And this tag fill we will put as text success. Then it will keep all in a green color, whereas this span will have class as text secondary. And it is going to display the data in this way. Only the tag color will be JSON file we are accessing and using it. Later, at the end, what you can do is you can put it in a database, get from the database, and we can display here. Now, what is the point? is if you are making any change in the UI, that means if you are making any change in the data, you are making any change that is like 799 and it is going to update here. So you are changing any offer, adding any offer or changing the rating, then it is going to update that rating here. Whatever changes happened in the data, it will reflect here. But this time we are using JavaScript Ajax to interact with the data. This is general pure JavaScript. In JavaScript, we create Ajax calls by using an object called XML HTTP request. But this is not very impressive for developers because it's very lengthy. It has a lot of issues technically. That's the reason in real time, everywhere we don't follow, but in some occasions we use it. Better than this is, there is another technique. What is the another technique is you can use fetch. But if you know jQuery, better than fetch is jQuery. Now, if you know third parties, there are so many third parties which are better than jQuery. That means React developers have to learn all the techniques of interacting because we don't know in your company which technique they use. You should know everything. That means some company projects they use fetch, they use XML, some people use third party, some people use a different third party which is not regularly used by others. So we have to learn all the techniques. But currently, what is this example? How to keep your data in a JSON file? How do you fetch the data from that file? And how do you present the data? Actually, you can change data like suppose multiple data also I will show you. So suppose let's go to Flipkart. In the Flipkart, suppose let me select a green color. Okay. And by using snipe tool, by using the sniping tool, yeah, let me copy this green image. I will copy this green image and save this in our project. So iPhone green JPG file is there. Okay, now what we are doing is in our design, this is black. Now I will go to product JSON. I will change this as what? Green. And obviously this iPhone is what? Green. So iPhone green dot JPG. Now it is going to change that image. That means you are making the changes in the data. It is going to reflect there. And I want to display multiple. Then we will see another technique, how we can access the data and use. So in this example, what are the basic points? How you design this XML HTTP request? So example for XML HTTP request. So example for XML HTTP request. This is JavaScript XML HTTP request. First, what you do, go to public folder and add product.json file. I will post this. Your classroom will be ready by tomorrow, right? Tomorrow I will share you the new class code where you can join for the notes. Till that moment, same old, continue. Tomorrow our admin will create a class code and share. I will share the class code in the classroom itself tomorrow. You will get the official one tomorrow, okay? Now here, what is the data? Let me copy the data. In product JSON, this is the data we need to keep. Next, what we have to do? Data binding dot what? JSX. In data binding JSX, this is the code. In this code, what we are doing? We are creating an object called what? Product. And what type of data we are expecting? We initialize that data. And we write a method function load data, which will make an XML HTTP request. It will get the data from this file and it will load the data, convert the data into JSON and load the data into this product. and that product data we are accessing and presenting in a format. This is the complete example of that data binding.jsx that I already given here. This is one point. Now we will see other techniques of how to fetch data from a JSON. What is one technique we learned? XML. Another technique is fetch. Another technique is jQuery. Another technique is third party. We will learn all the 4 techniques that we'll see tomorrow. And in tomorrow's session, we will learn how to deal with some real-time data. We will get the data from a real-time APIs and we will use them and we will present them. We'll see how to deal with that. Tomorrow we will continue. Okay, right.